My guest today is Jennifer Elia. She's an AVP Client Experience, Integrated Health Solutions at Sun Life Financial. I'm your host, Mark Franklin, from Career Buzz and Career Cycles. Jennifer, thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Now, you were talking about chronic diseases and its connection to the workplace, and I know you were talking about a bit of a disconnect between what's really happening and what the perception, especially from employers. What is that gap?
It's quite surprising, actually, Mark. There are multiple studies that show that the number of employees in Canada who report living with at least one and sometimes multiple chronic diseases is up over the 50% range, 50, sometimes even close to 60%. And yet employers, they don't have a clear understanding of the prevalence that's impacting their very workplace. For example, the Sanofi Canadian Healthcare Survey reveals that employers only view the level of chronic disease among their employee population as 32%. So you can see the divide there. We have a real opportunity to educate employers about these issues and how these issues related to chronic illness are impacting their employees.
Right, so it's not only impacting employees, it's also impacting the workplace. So there's a lot of risk here. I mean, people sometimes don't think about that, and chronic diseases, one or more, and what that might mean. So what is the cost or the risk, both from an employee side and an employer side?
Yeah, so we do know that while the chronic disease issues can be devastating at an individual level, it could impair level of functioning, ability to perform one's job, interplay between physical, mental, and even financial health in a lot of cases. It's also good business sense to really understand this impact. The cost in lost productivity alone to the Canadian economy tied to chronic disease is to the tune of $122 billion.
Huge.
It is huge.
So if you're an employer trying to deal with this, trying to get ahead of it and trying to implement best practices, where do you start?
You start with really understanding what's going on for your organization, recognizing that all companies are unique in terms of the types of chronic disease issues and various workplace health issues that are impacting their business and their business outcomes as a result. And what we found is that a broad strokes approach to workplace health programs, it just isn't working. So we need to get more focused and targeted and let the data be our guide.
So I know you were talking a little bit about organizational culture as kind of driving this, influencing it. How, and it's a bit of a nebulous topic for many. How can you affect workplace culture and bring this into the conversation?
Yeah, it is quite a nebulous area, and I think what's really exciting about where we are right now in 2017 is there are tools to help employers to understand where their gaps are relative to culture. Is it leadership? Is it communication? Is it role design? It could be a number of different things that are playing off each other to create an unhealthy workplace culture, or in some cases maybe they deserve wonderful gold star for having an excellent culture. So really the key is assessment to be able to understand what's going on and be able to put a plan in place to close those gaps.
Now, towards the end of your talk, you threw up a slide with the trends to watch, and that kind of fascinated me because there's so much going on now with health-related apps and big data. So I don't really know which trends I'm going to ask about here, but there just seems to be so many things that have an impact here. What are some of the one or two key trends to watch or tools that employers might be interested in checking out?
I'm glad you asked that. What we're going to see more and more, Mark, in terms of really tackling the issues related to workplace health, including chronic disease, is using digital health. And digital often goes hand in hand with an ability to be more targeted and also personalized in the support we provide. So we're testing some models where we can look at demographics, we can look at personal preferences, personal needs, and even claiming patterns to serve up really relevant and valuable resources for employees.
Pretty fascinating topic. Jennifer Elia, thanks so much for joining us here on the interview.
Thank you so much, Mark.